Hello everyone, and welcome to our WWE 2K22 Universe Mode Draft video. It has been a while since we've done one of these because 2K20 was shit, to say the least. So now, we're here for 2K22, we're starting fresh once again. I will be hosting Raw.
And I'll be hosting SmackDown.
And after a coin toss that left me in an unfortunate spot, it is SmackDown that is going first, so I will let you take the floor for the first draft pick.
Alright, first overall draft pick of 2K22 is AJ Styles.
Quite a phenomenal pick for SmackDown. Excuse the lame-ass joke, but Raw's number one draft pick is the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
Okay, that's a good draft pick, quite the powerhouse, but I'll respond with, someone a little bit better, has a better spear, I'll say that. Edge.
Okay, the rated R superstar going to SmackDown, but someone who has drawn comparisons to Edge, but certainly outdoes him in the fashion department. Raw's number 2 draft pick is the Messiah, Seth freaking Rollins.
Okay, yeah, I'll admit, he's got quite the drip, but his drip doesn't compare nearly to the unicorn horns that New Day wears at number 3.
Quite the good faction pick. First team/faction drafted in this draft so far, but I'm going to counter that with a faction of my own, that being Imperium.
Okay, you know what? I'll admit it, they've got some drip too, alright? Those Adidas fucking tracksuits, they go hard, alright? But nothing in the drip department will ever beat the classic suit, and that is what my next draft pick is always wearing. At number 4 for SmackDown, the Hurt Business.
Alright, I respected some big men there. Well, one big man, 2 kind of smaller men that are still pretty beefy, and then MVPs. He's alright too. But I can't think of a smooth transition for this one, but someone with a lot of smooth transitions, a great technical wrestler, great striker, is my number 4 draft pick, Kyle O'Reilly.
Okay, he's a good wrestler, but I gotta stick with the theme of drip for now. And I gotta draft Isaiah Swerve Scott.
He does have a lot of drip, but my previous pick was the good Canadian lad, KOR. But going back to Canada, we're going to drop the R for KO, number 5, Kevin Owens.
Okay, he doesn't got drip. I'll say that.
I don't know. I think the shorts and like muscle shirt combo kind of hits different sometimes.
Yeah, but he wears the same thing every day. That's not really drip, but you know what? I'm also going to be leaving the department of drip here. It's my next draft pick. In the drip department, he's fallen off lately. I'm drafting Keith Lee at number 6.
Trying to imply that Bearcat singlet wasn't dripping out?
I am absolutely 100%.
Well, if we're gonna keep talking about drip and I mean, we probably shouldn't at this point. It's been about 7 picks of that. But few men have done it better in the history of WWE than number 6 for Monday Night Raw, Cesaro.
He's a jobber.
He's not a jobber. He's kind of a jobber, but he shouldn't be.
He's a jobber, and he will be on Raw. But number 7 for SmackDown. He's got some anger issues, but you know what? Maybe he'll be able to put that to good use. Number 7 for SmackDown is Damian Priest.
Ooh, okay. It's a risky draft pick. May have some Damian moments on SmackDown, but that's none of my business. Number 7, we are getting a bit royal as we pump Raw with a little bit of strong style. Number 7, King Nakamura.
Okay, that's a good pick. That's a good pick, you know. But he might have some style, whatever, you know. But he does not know how to take a proper selfie, like SmackDown's number 8 draft pick, Austin Theory.
All right, I respect that one. Good selfie game. He is all day, but you don't have to be all day when time is on your side. So we're going back to the future for number 8, Kushida.
Okay, I guess cosplayers are fair game. So, at number 9, I will draft another cosplayer. The Elon Musk cosplay, Cameron Grimes.
I'm stacking money, I'm stacking money, I can see it going.
The Elon Musk cosplay, yeah, I guess it fits. He's going to the moon on SmackDown, but number 9 for Raw is jumping out the sky. REY and DOMINIK Mysterio. Number 9 is the Mysterios.
Okay, well, I'll stay on the path of little short bald men. Tommaso Ciampa at number 10.
That might have been the meanest thing you could have said about him. But I digress. Number 10 for Raw is quite the opposite. He's a beefy man with a very majestic and full head of hair. The Scottish warrior, Drew McIntyre.
Okay, you mentioned big beefy men, so I'm gonna draft 2 of them, actually. A tag team. RK Bro at number 11. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle.
RK Bro. Okay. Perhaps the best tag team name that there is. But number 11 for Raw, we're investing in the future, going international as we take the Irish ace, Jordan Devlin.
Okay, I don't know anything about him, so I can't really respond to that. But at number 12 for SmackDown, I'm going to draft your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, Drew Gulak.
Okay, Drew Gulak for a better SmackDown. While SmackDown is looking to better itself with Drew Gulak on their side, Raw is looking to shut it down with Retribution at number 12.
Raw is going to be shutting down because no one's going to come to their shows with these draft picks so far. But
wow.
Over here on SmackDown, we want a good show. We want smart people. We want the best of the best. And so that is why at number 13, I'm drafting Alpha Academy.
Alpha Academy, very, very solid pick, I will say. Chad Gable, very smart man, very skilled wrestler. And Otis is just a big pile of meat in human form. But Alpha Academy, as successful as they have been lately, will not compare to a 16-time world champion, John Cena.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
Okay, yeah, that one's a good draft pick. I'll admit that. Shame he has been drafted this far late. Honestly, my next draft pick can't really he doesn't quite measure up to John Cena, you know, in terms of star quality, but he is a damn quality wrestler. Number 14 for SmackDown, Finn Balor.
All right, the Prince going to SmackDown, but we don't need the Prince when we have the Queen, not Charlotte Flair, but I mean, we're going to the United Kingdom, and more specifically, we're going to a little place in Wolverhampton known as Mustache Mountain.
Okay, these guys, they're irrelevant, you know? They mean nothing, especially when you compare them to number 15 for SmackDown, the Beast, Brock Lesnar.
All right, Brock Lesnar, that's about $1 million down the drain for a guy with a man bun, but SmackDown's number 15 is not going to compare to Raw's number 15 because while you are spending the big money, we are taking the big money. Number 15 to Monday Night Raw, Mansoor.
Okay, yeah, you'll get some foreign blood money for that one. Although we will not
say that. Don't you say that about Big Money Manny.
We will not be running their shows in this universe mode. I'll put that out there right now. You know, I'm keeping on the track of drafting some jacked men, all right? And so I gotta draft one of the most jacked people in the game. At number 16 for SmackDown, Buddy Murphy.
All right, Murphy is a pretty large man. However, Raw, ironically, is becoming the land of opportunity. We don't really have a lot of jacked men aside from like Roman Reigns and Cesaro, but what Raw does have is some of the best wrestlers of all styles, and we are going back to that hybrid of technical wrestling and just hard-hitting strikes with number 16, Timothy Thatcher.
All right, you know, I gotta admit, it's really impressive of Raw to hire a homeless guy as a wrestler. That takes some balls there, I'll admit that.
Hey, just because he doesn't have a cell phone doesn't mean he's homeless.
In this day and age, it must mean that. But you know what? I'll take another guy who doesn't always look at his best. And you know, that's because there's a lot of conspiracies around him. Nothing is fair, all right? Number 17 for SmackDown, Sami Zayn.
I think the biggest conspiracy of all is Sami Zayn going at number 17. He is a great asset to SmackDown, I will say that much. But you have disrupted your drafting of big, beefy men. So Raw is going to take a page from SmackDown's book with number 17, the Viking Raiders.
Okay, I would say you have more so just added more of a smell to Raw. You have made it so people don't want to come to your shows even more. But everyone,
Those are fighting words.
everyone wants to come to an episode of SmackDown when they see The Miz and Johnny Drip Drip Morrison, Miz and Morrison at number 18.
Miz and Morrison. Hey, come on. Ho, let's go.
Alright, you were trying to make SmackDown must-see, but Raw is continuing to get more and more unique because this man is one of a kind. He is the one and only Ricochet at number 18.
Okay, you're sticking on the path of people who don't they aren't main eventers. You know, they're not
They
at
could
that
be.
level.
They have the potential to be.
They have the wrestling skill to be there, but they don't have everything else that it takes. But my next draft pick, everyone in this faction does. All right, at number 19 for SmackDown, Legado del Fantasma.
Pretty solid pick. Three great wrestlers there from NXT, but Raw is taking the heart and soul from NXT with number 19, Johnny Gargano.
Okay, that's a solid draft pick. I'll admit that one. You know, shame that he had to go to Raw, where no one will get to see his talents. But you know what? Number 20. I'm gonna take another tag team. Actually, one of them is a former NXT champion. All right, so at number 20, I'm drafting the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode.
NXT has a plethora of talent, which is why places like the Diamond Mine have opened up. And that is why number 20 for Raw, we are taking the leader of that, aside from Malcolm Bivens, Roderick Strong.
Okay, you know, that's a good pick. You know, you've got a man with tiny little boots, but he has a damn good backbreaker. And honestly, when it comes to wrestling ability, I don't think my next draft pick, I don't think they match up, you know. They kind of just do super kicks a lot. At number 21 for SmackDown, the Usos.
A solid tag team going to SmackDown, but number 21 for Raw is another solid tag team. The Bloodline has been split apart, but the Profits are still up. Number 21, the Street Profits.
Okay, that's two fantastic wrestlers right there, you know, but
Sure is.
they aren't nearly as good, and they aren't nearly as fashionable as my next draft pick for SmackDown. At number 22, Tyler Breeze.
Super good looking, every hair in place, everyone.
Very respectable. You know, you were kind of insulting Raw for taking people with untapped potential, but I feel like Tyler Breeze is one of those people that falls under that category. But a man that everyone knows has the potential to be a main eventer, who very well could be a world champion, and who is being drafted criminally late right now, the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe.
Okay, that's a good pick, and you know what? He can team up with his cousin Roman Reigns, who was drafted at number 1 for Raw. I don't know if they are cousins or not. I probably should not have said that. But you know what? My next draft pick could beat both of them with one hand tied behind his back. At number 23, the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Respectable choice, I will say. Former world champion a few times, But he's getting on the older side, I will say. He's still got that vertical ginger hair, but it's receding a little bit. He is not as young as some of the talent that is going to Raw, as we are taking someone who is both young and bitter. At number 23, the Bruiserweight, Pete Dunne.
Okay, that's a good draft pick. Another person who it's criminally late getting drafted this late. But you mentioned age, right? And here on SmackDown, that's not as much of a factor, all right? So we draft people that they can be 50 plus years old and they can still go like they're 25 years old. And my next draft pick, he even looks the same too. R-Truth at number 24.
That's respectable. A man who pretty much defies age in wrestling. R-Truth is a good acquisition if he's not spending his time chasing after the 24/7 championship. And as many times as he's won that, he has never won as big as Raw's number 24 draft pick, Happy Corbin.
Okay, well, that's certainly interesting now, because you've got the man who made Happy Corbin depressed on your show, too. So we'll see where that ends up. But at number 25, we're taking someone who he lets his actions do the talking rather than his words. He doesn't need to speak to get his points across. At number 25 for SmackDown, Dexter Lumis.
All right. Dexter Lumis, basically a criminal. I believe he has kidnapped people, but
that's irrelevant. This isn't the court.
Let's not get into the legality of everything going on here. Number 25 for Raw is about family, as we are taking two cousins who are just as good in the ring as any other team that has gone to Monday Night Raw. At number 25, Los Lotharios.
Okay, well, you take someone that's two people, I guess, in your case, that have they've gone back to their familial roots, so to speak. So I'll do the same at number 26, Apollo Crews.
All right, Nigerian royalty, Apollo Crews. But Raw drafted royalty at number 7, so we're beyond that. We're going once again to some of the hardest hitting men on the roster, and that is number 26, Oney Lorcan.
Okay, yeah, he hits hard, that's for sure, but he's also bald.
Nothing wrong with being bald. It happens sometimes. Happens to the best of us.
My next draft pick, he's got a nice full head of hair. It's quite spiky. And at number 27 for SmackDown, Akira Tozawa.
All right, well, you have a ninja on your side now, but number 27 for Raw is following something a little similar. This man does wear a mask. He does move with great speed and agility. Number 27 for Raw, Gran Metalik.
That's kind of interesting, actually, how you have drafted Gran Metalik, because at number 28 for SmackDown, I'm actually going to take a former trio mate of his, only one. At number 28 for SmackDown, Kalisto.
All right, Kalisto. A great asset to SmackDown, always entertaining to watch, but time is running out on this draft, only 3 more picks for Raw, so the end is coming in the form of our number 28 pick, Karrion Kross.
Okay, well, that's another interesting draft pick because my next draft pick has some history with Mr. Kross. Fucking jobbed him out on main event. Number 29 for SmackDown, Jeff Hardy.
Alright, well, let's hope he can actually stay on your shows and doesn't have any erratic behavior. Number 29 for Raw is a man who has found great success in the past and who is going to find great success in the future. He is the modern-day Maharaja, Jinder Mahal.
Okay, that's a good draft pick, but he has nothing on my final draft pick for the men. In fact, he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and unfortunately, passed away too young. Eddie Guerrero.
I respect that as your final choice. Like you said, one of the greatest of all time, an absolute legend. But there is 3 big problems with Eddie Guerrero. He lies, he cheats, and he steals, but a man who will never lie to you, a man who speaks the universal truth. Number 30, and the final male draft pick for Monday Night Raw, Elias.
How many times they gonna kill me? Try to put me in.
Hey, that's honest. If I'm being brutally honest, that's not a good draft pick to end on.
I didn't go at it with as much of a bang as SmackDown did, but let's see if you can keep things up as we move on to the women's draft picks. 30 men have gone, there is 10 women to go. So start things off for us, if you will.
All right, the number 1 female draft pick overall and number 1 female draft pick for SmackDown, Io Shirai.
A respectable choice. I feel whoever won that coin flip to decide who was going to get number 1 would have chosen Io Shirai. She is arguably the best wrestler in WWE, and I only say arguably because there is one woman who is in the conversation along with Io Shirai, an absolute legend of Joshi wrestling and of professional wrestling as a whole. Number 1 for Monday Night Raw's women's division, Asuka.
Okay, that's a very good draft pick. Actually, I'm honestly very frustrated that Raw was able to get her, but I understand that some decisions had to be made for who was going to be number 1 for SmackDown, and Asuka was obviously in that conversation. But I went into this with a plan for who my first few were going to be. And I was able to get another one of my original planned people. So number 2 for SmackDown, Toni Storm.
Very respectable choice. Another woman who pretty much made a lot of her name in Japan, as did Io Shirai and Asuka, along with the British wrestling scene, which is where my next draft pick is from. She was once known, unfortunately, as the Captain Marvel of NXT, but my draft pick is the girl with the shiniest wizard, Tegan Nox.
Okay, we've established in the past that it's not that shiny, and I'm sure over the numerous injuries that she's had to the knees over the last few years, that some of the power behind the shining wizard that she likes to use, I'm sure a lot of that is gone now. But my number 3 draft pick for the women's division, she doesn't have injured knees. You know, she still has all the power behind her knees, and she uses that every single time she wrestles. Number 3, Liv Morgan.
All right, well, number 3 for SmackDown was a very solid pick. Liv Morgan has become one of the best female wrestlers in all of WWE, but she has one big problem, and that is that she continues to fight and plead for attention. My number 3 draft pick is someone who will just take the attention, as Raw drafts the captain of Team Kick, Dakota Kai.
Okay, you know, that's a good draft pick, but my number 4 draft pick is someone who has dealt with Dakota Kai before, and someone who has beaten Dakota Kai before, and it's someone that you will fear for the rest of your life. And number 4 for SmackDown, the Nightmare, Rhea Ripley.
Alright, respectable choice, looking to bring the brutality to SmackDown, but Rhea Ripley gets a lot of credit for things that she hasn't always done by herself, and one time in particular, relating to the last 2 draft picks of Raw, in fact. Rhea Ripley single-handedly won a War Games match, but by her side, carrying her through, is my number 4 draft pick, someone who has all the skill in the world, and someone who is an absolute veteran of professional wrestling. She was once the toughest cupcake, now she is the poison pixie, Candice LeRae.
Okay, that's a good draft pick. That's a good draft pick. You know, you've got a couple on your show now, as you also drafted her husband, Johnny Gargano.
Sure have.
But
romance lives on Monday Night Raw.
But what you don't have is the EST of WWE at number 5, Bianca Belair.
Alright, that is a respectable choice. She won the second ever women's main event of WrestleMania, but she shared that spot with someone who, if they weren't there with her, she probably would have been further down, because number 5 for Raw is one of the biggest stars of our generation. She is the legit boss, Sasha Banks.
Okay, that's a good draft pick. I'm frustrated that Raw was able to get her, as I had originally planned for her to be my number 6, but obviously that is not the case. So I'm taking the goddess Alexa Bliss.
That is a respectable choice. Hopefully she'll be spending more time in the ring than she does in the funhouse. But while you have a goddess, I am taking someone who pretty much defies those stereotypes and who lives her own reckless life. Monday Night Raw is going to be welcomed to the ball pit with number 6, Shotzi.
Okay, yeah, you know, she does live recklessly, but she also wrestles recklessly too. So you're going to have to watch out for her injuring either herself or her opponents. My next draft pick will never injure themselves or their opponents, although that first one is a lie because they did injure themselves. At number 7 for SmackDown, Bayley.
Respectable choice. She joins the aforementioned Sasha Banks as, you know, one of the biggest female stars of the past decade even, but someone who has all the potential to be that, given her vicious style, her unforgiving personality, someone who will break your arm and feel nothing but joy. Number 7 to Monday Night Raw, the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler.
Okay, so you've gone into the world of MMA, I suppose, and I'm not doing that for my next draft pick, but I will be going into the world of Texas. All right, and that is where the strongest people in the world come out of. Number 8 for SmackDown, Raquel Gonzalez.
Texas is it is quite a big place, which brings out big people at times like Raquel Gonzalez, but my number 8 also happens to be from Texas, not quite as big but far more talented. Number 8 for Raw, Ember Moon.
Okay, that's a good draft pick. That's one I had forgotten about her. You know, she went under the radar, and I believe that she will stay under the radar now that she is on Raw. No one will watch that show, but everyone watches SmackDown, and so they will see someone they don't really want to. They want to see them, but they don't want to hear them because they've got quite the Scottish accent. Kaylee Ray at number 9.
I'm going to clarify before my number 9 draft pick that there is absolutely nothing wrong with Scottish people. Raw has already drafted one of them, and we continue to have no problem with them, especially when they are willing to better society and become a hero that this world needs. Almost. Number 9 for Monday Night Raw, Nikki A.S.H.
Okay, wow. So another person who just can't quite make it. They can't quite reach that level. They can't grab that brass ring, you know?
Talking about a former women's champion here, but go on.
Yeah, but she lost it like 2 weeks later, so it doesn't count. But my next draft pick and my final draft pick overall in this draft, she has held the women's championship multiple times. She relinquished that championship to go home and have a kid. At number 10, the man, big time Becky Lynch.
All right, big time Bex to SmackDown. But I don't think SmackDown needs motherly love. I think SmackDown needs some fighters, some warriors, but it's a little too late for that. So Raw will have to fill in that void as number 10 for Monday Night Raw, the final female draft pick, the final overall draft pick. We are taking the Pride fighter, Sonya Deville.
I am a beast, I am a menace, I am the storm, I'm coming to get it, conquer the throne.
Hey, that's honestly a better draft pick for Raw to end on than they had with the men's. You know, that's a strong draft pick, and that is the final overall draft pick. Actually, we're done now.
Yes, we are. That has brought an end to this 2K22 Universe Mode draft, and shortly after the launch of the game, we will be bringing to you the first episode of Universe Mode, which will be Monday Night Raw, my show. And despite all the slander you have heard about it, it is something that you will not want to miss. But as we said, that brings an end to this video. Thank you for watching. Please show your support with likes and comments, all that sort of things. Let us know who you think had the better roster and who you are more excited to see going forward in this universe mode. And if your answer is not Raw, I run the channel, so you will be blocked. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that is a lie.
That is a lie. I appreciate your support, even if you are a SmackDown supporter, which I just think you need better taste at that point. But the brand warfare has not begun yet. As they said, it will begin shortly after the launch of the game. So that is when we will see you next.
Goodbye.